Hey guys, hope you're having a great day. Are you guys looking for some sexy romantic date night scents? Well, I got a great list coming right up. Stick around. Welcome to my channel, Kristen Rocks Frags. My name is Kristen and it is time to talk fragrances. If it is your first time checking out my channel, please be sure to like and share this video and don't forget to subscribe. So I'm sorry it's been a little while, guys. Work's been really busy this past month or so. So just been juggling a lot. But I'm so happy to be back and to be doing some beautiful fragrance reviews with you guys. I have not been slacking on the collecting. I got a bunch of goodies that I'm excited to share with you all. So about a month or so ago, a fan of mine, a subscriber, asked me to do a date night fragrance list. So I thought I would change it up a little bit and do that today. So I haven't done a list in a little while. So I thought I would do 5 designer scents and then 5 niche scents. I thought that would be a good little balance. And I tried to go with scents that are a little bit more crowd pleasing, maybe not too daring, maybe a couple might be a little bit more on the daring side, but for the most part I tried to go with something very, easy to wear, pretty unisex for the most part as well. So here we go. These aren't really in any particular order because, everyone's different, and I tried to do things that I think a lot of people will like. So here we go. Of course, I will tell you what my favorites are. So the first one, I thought I would go with Bleu de Chanel Parfum by Chanel. And this is just such a classy, very easy to wear scent. I'm sure a lot of you guys have checked this one out by now, but if you haven't, you definitely have to try it. I think this is definitely a staple in anyone's collection. Just really sexy. The top is nice and citrusy and fresh with the bergamot and the lemon and the mint. And then the heart, it kind of gets a more gentlemanly, slightly mature feel with the lavender and geranium, but then it's still kind of playful with the pineapple note. And the dry down, it gets a lot woodier and creamier with that sandalwood, and you got some sweetness in there with the tonka bean. And it's just really nice. I love the EDP also. That one's a little bit bigger and bolder and in your face and maybe a little bit brighter, while this kind of, it still performs very well, but it doesn't project as big, but it does. This one does last a pretty long time, but because it's kind of on the creamier, sexier, smoother side, I thought this would be a little bit more fitting for a nice evening out with your date. So, and the good thing about this one is it's totally versatile, so you can wear this all year round. You don't have to worry about it, if anything, adjust the sprays accordingly, but this is perfect for all year round. So, Bleu de Chanel by Chanel. So the next one I decided to go with is, this one is a little bit harder to find, but if you do find it, definitely jump on it. It's really delicious and sexy. I'm talking about Stronger With You Leather, by Armani, excuse me. And this one is really yummy and decadent, and you gotta like sweet scents to be into this one. I honestly haven't really got to give this a full wearing because I got it in during the warmer months. So now I think I'm gonna wait for it to get even colder. So I think late fall, winter, absolutely. This will be a really good one for those yummy, sexy, cozy nights when you want to snuggle up next to your loved one. But it's kind of, it's got somewhat of a unique kind of thing. It's got chestnut in the top, and you got some spices with the elemi. And then you got lavender and sage at the heart. And let's just spray this guy. Well, all right, we'll spray one. This one is hard to find. That's the one sad thing about it. It's really good, but it is like Like you can find it in Europe and stuff. I don't think you can find it here in the States. And, oh, this is good. That's yummy. I think it's still a little bit warm for it, even now. Like, you know, it's in the upper 60s, right? Or well, lower 60s actually here in upstate New York. But you know, I think on a cold night, this is gonna be fantastic. Oh, this is so good. You get some of the vanilla. You get an almost like toasted, like almost makes me think of like a toasted marshmallow or something, like a yummy s'more, but like in a sexy way, not, you know, like not like in a cheap, you know, silly way. This has definitely got some sexiness to it, and it's got oud in the base too and leather. So I like how that kind of keeps the sweetness in check. So it's not, you know, I mean, it could get cloying if you overspray it, but I think 2 or 3 sprays would be perfect with this one. But I really like how it's well balanced. This is really yummy. This one's definitely a popular one, so if you can find it, jump on it. It's really, really yummy and delicious. And I think this one's totally unisex. You know, the Bleu de Chanel, like I mentioned before, I think that's a little bit more masculine, but I personally like to wear it, and I've even gotten a compliment on it, so why not, you know, wear what you like, of course. But I think this one is especially unisex, because I think us girls can definitely pull off those sexy, sweet scents, but I think a man can totally pull this off also, because of that lavender, the leather, and the oud. It still keeps it more in the unisex realm. And yeah, really delicious. So definitely give that a try. Stronger With You Leather by Armani. All right, this next one is a touch on the daring side. So this might not be mass pleasing like maybe the other ones I just mentioned, but it's definitely a sought after scent. Like this one's really big in Europe. But I think you can start to get it in the States again, especially like in the groups and such like that. I'm talking about DIOR Homme Parfum. And, yep, got my notes. This one's really sexy and delicious. Now this isn't really for like a teeny boppy young couple. Like, you know, this to me makes me think of more kind of you know, a more mature couple. You know, I think it is a little bit more on the masculine side, but I still think us girls can pull it off. I love to wear it, I don't care. This is so delicious. So you got your iris, of course, but the big difference here is the leather note. I think that leather note really sets this apart from the other DIOR Hommes. You know, I love the other ones, the DIOR Homme Intense and the original Homme. They're sexy and delicious, but there's something about that leather. And at the base you got your oud, you know, it's very woody and creamy with the sandalwood. And then you got ambrette, so it kind of comes off a little bit musky also. But I get a lot of that rose and leather and oud in this one. And of course the iris is a star player as well. So I think those are the main notes I detect the most. And man, this is just so yummy. It's deep and it's kind of got some like a darkness, a bit of a mysterious feel, very inviting and sexy and romantic, right? You always think of roses, right, on a date. And I love how the way the leather, the iris, and that oud mix together, the way they interact, it almost comes off like a touch, like a dark chocolate. So almost think of like a dark leathery chocolate with rose, just really beautiful. Like I think this would be a good Valentine's scent in particular because of the way those notes interact, and the rose of course. But a really delicious and sexy fragrance. I'm sure a lot of you guys have tried it, but if you haven't, definitely look for this one. Gorgeous, a little bit on the pricey side, but totally worth it. Really beast mode, so this is when, again, you gotta watch your sprays on. You know, I think 2 to 3 is perfect, but you know, adjust it accordingly with the weather. So, DIOR Homme Parfum. So I decided to go with another really sexy, yummy, mass-pleasing fragrance. The only thing is it is more readily available in Europe, but it's starting to become more available in the States as well, thank goodness, because it's a really good one. There's a lot of hype on this one for a while. I'm talking about L'Homme Idéal Extreme by GUERLAIN. And the bottle's just so cool, isn't it? I love that red cap and the juice color. Just a very eye-catching bottle, just really pretty. But I love this one. It's just really sexy. This was actually a blind for me, and I loved it so much I ended up having to get a backup bottle because it is kind of hard to find. But oh, this is so sexy. So I don't know if you've tried L'Eau Ideal EDP. That one's very yummy too. That one's kind of got more like a cherry, pipe tobacco, almond kind of feel. So you get the almond again in this, but this one kind of takes a little bit of a turn. Yes, it still has tobacco in there, but this one has plum in the heart. And you get pink pepper at the top, and cinnamon. I get a good amount of cinnamon, and you get leather in this also. I seem to really find leather fitting for a date night. I don't know, I find that really sexy and intriguing, especially when it's not maybe like too out there, you know, but I love it as a supporting note. But of course you get the almond, but you get a good amount of that plum. It's really delicious and yummy, and I love how it kind of has that fruity feel of the plum, but it's well balanced with the tobacco and the cinnamon and the leather. And then in the base you also get patchouli and cedar, so it gets a little bit woody, maybe a touch earthy. I don't notice those notes so much. I get you know, the cinnamon, and I think the pink pepper, the plum of course, almond and tobacco. I think those are the main players here. And this is just really sexy. I love how it's sweet, but like I said, those other notes kind of balance it out. And it's not, this is one that I don't find cloying. I think this is one that maybe you can do like 3 to 5 sprays and you won't kill anybody. But it's just really sexy, kind of unique and intriguing. And I think this would be an awesome date night scent. I remember wearing this, you know, last fall and winter, and like I remember just going on a walk, and like you could just smell it in the air as you're walking. And I remember kind of like stayed on my scarf after that. And this is just really yummy. I love this on a cool day. Really delicious. This one, spoiler alert, will probably be on my fall list, but it's just so good. Maybe even winter. This might be even better in the winter, I think. But really delicious. If you can find it, just jump on it, man. It's just so good. Really unique. Honestly, I think this is my favorite of the Ideal line. I know there's a bunch of L'Eau Ideal flankers, and this is definitely my favorite. Although I do enjoy the EDP, this one is fantastic. Just, I love the way the fragrance wears. There's nothing like overly, it's not like too sticky or gooey or cloying. Like, it's sweet, but I love the way it's well balanced. Just a really interesting wear. I really enjoy this. So check it out, L'Eau Ideal Extreme. And here is the last one of the designer list, and then we'll be moving on to the niche list. So I decided to pick a really popular one. This is a brand new released from Dior, and I think you guys have an idea what it is. Dior Sauvage Elixir. And oh man, this one is really sexy and yummy. Oh god, this is so good. So this one comes off like, if you really like spices, particularly cinnamon, you're gonna fall in love with this one. This is a love at first sniff. So like at the top, right, you get a ton of cinnamon, you get nutmeg, cardamom, and you do kind of get some of the grapefruit. It almost comes off like a rhubarb kind of feel to me, which I'm still torn if that's in here. If you go to Fragrantica, it doesn't show up, and I don't even think it's on the Dior website either. But I feel like I've even heard other people talk about there being it coming off like a rhubarb note in the top, and it does. It's kind of zingy, a little bit tart, so it's kind of spicy, but kind of fruity and sweet and zesty too, and tart. It's really yummy. But then, you know, at the heart you get this classy lavender, so it kind of comes off like a little bit mature, but still modern. And then as it dries down, you know, it gets kind of woody and ambery. So you get, you know, some vetiver in here. So, you know, it gets a little bit creamy with the sandalwood, but not too much. I find this overall pretty spicy and kind of dry and bright at the same time. And then you get licorice, which honestly I don't notice as much. Maybe that adds to the sweetness in here. Because I mean, it's sweet, but more spicy. Overall, spicy, and just, oh, this is really sexy. It definitely has that fougere kind of feel, very gentlemanly and yummy. A touch old school, but overall modern and beastly, man. I mean, 2 sprays, you're good for the day. It's really, really good. This has definitely been popular. I mean, I've been seeing it all over in the groups, people talking about it, and it's really, really good. The one thing I hope they will do is make a bigger bottle, because this goes kind of quickly, but I love it. Like, I hope they'll make 100 ml. It's really, really good. So I think this will be perfect for a date night scent. It's just one of those, it's a head turner for sure. Like, just really, really good. You know, I still have the EDT, which I enjoy, but I think this one is their best flanker of the Sauvage, hands down. Even the EDP I had for a little while. That one was good, but it was never really my favorite. I never bought the Parfum. I do really like that one, but I think this, is kind of in the world more of the Parfum, if you like that one, because I think that one comes off a little bit more classy and fougere-like, and it's just a little bit more well blended. I think this takes that to the next level. Just really fantastic. So the really cool thing is that it just kept getting better and better, and right, a lot of the times the original is the best, you know. Of course, you can all appreciate the original one, but the elixir is really good. Now I'm thinking of that movie Serendipity, where he's talking about, you gotta appreciate the original Godfather, but you know, maybe the sequel is better, but you gotta, you know, go back to the original, right? And it's really, that's all I think of. Love that movie. Anyway, so get ready for the niche section. I hope you guys enjoyed the designer list. Definitely let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to see what your list is, and stick around for the niche top 5 date night scents coming right up. All right, you guys all ready for the niche portion of the date night list? Here we go. So the first one I decided to go with is Intimus by NAVITUS Parfums. And I just realized when I was looking up the notes, I have the older bottle now, so it looks like they redesigned the bottle. It looks more like their Vivamore, so I may have to get one of their new bottles, but I love mine. It's so good. Yum, so delicious. So the notes for this one, you got bergamot, lemon, apple, orange, floral notes, and the pink pepper. And then at the heart, you got geranium, amber, lily of the valley. And then at the base, you got patchouli, oak moss, toasted sugar, vanilla, woody notes, and the musk. So I went with this one because it's kind of playful and sexy, because, you know, it's kind of on the sweeter side. You know, I get a lot of that apple and the bergamot, definitely that kind of toasted sugar going on. But you know, the woods come through. The geranium a little bit, the amber, yes. I don't really notice the floral so much, but you know, it's still, I love how it's kind of a little bit fresh because of that geranium and, you know, the bergamot and the lemon, but then it comes off kind of sweet, a little bit candy-like. But then, you know, oh, the vanilla, of course, adds to the sweetness, and but it's kind of balanced with the woody notes and the oak moss. And then the woody notes, of course, and it's a little bit musky and really sexy. This kind of reminds me of a new version of maybe Ultramal, or maybe Date by Fragrance One, kind of in that world. But I find this a little bit more sweet, I guess. Just really, really sexy, very inviting, very intriguing. This one performs pretty well too. It's not like too in your face, but it definitely, you know, projects a good amount, and it lasts a long time. And this is one of those sexy ones that you just want to get, you know, close to your loved one, smell his or her neck, you know. I think this one's definitely unisex because it is kind of sweet, fruity, and playful. But a very sexy and intriguing scent, very addicting. I like how it's not overly sweet or cloying or anything like that. and that toasted sugar is just very addicting and yummy. It gives it kind of like a caramelized feel to it. Really yummy and delicious. So yeah, if you like scents like Ultramar, I think this is definitely worth a try. Definitely check it out. Intimus Parfums, Intimus Parfum by NAVITUS. So for this one, I decided to go with more of a crowd pleaser. You know, Intimus is also a crowd pleaser, but this one definitely gets compliments. This one gets me a lot of compliments. Really delicious, and I'm talking about LAYTON by Parfums de Marly. Now this one comes off kind of sweet too, a little bit fruity with the apple. But it comes off kind of fresh with the geranium too, and the lavender and the violet. But I find it pretty spicy. I get a lot of vanilla and cardamom especially. You get some pepper, but it comes off kind of creamy too with the sandalwood and the wood, a little bit earthy with that patchouli. It's a really sexy one. You know, if you like BLEU de Chanel by Chanel, you know, I think this is kind of I don't think they smell the same, but maybe kind of an answer to that, you know, in the niche world. Or even La Nuit Alone, maybe a little bit with that cardamom, but a really sexy, yummy kind of scent. It's just very addicting. Some people have said it kind of has a little bit of an apple pie feel. I think Ojan by Parfums de Marly is even more apple pie, but I could see where they're going with this because the apple and the cardamom and the vanilla, it's definitely addicting. A little bit gourmand, but still kind of spicy and grounded and woody, and just a really sexy one. Very easy to wear. One of my friends fell in love with this, and he's not really a frag head, but he ended up loving this one, and he bought like a couple bottles, I remember, and he still wears this one. He leaves it in his car, and I always yell at him for that, but not good. But no, he loves it. He always says how good it is and that people like it on him, so it's awesome. So I'm sure you guys have checked this one out. If you haven't though, definitely jump on it. I think this is definitely another staple in someone's collection. Very easy to wear. I think it shines the most in fall, but I think if you control your sprays, this is a good signature scent too, and you can wear it all year long, but really good for date night, I think. LAYTON by Parfums de Marly. And here we go with a more kind of gourmand, sweet fragrance again. I always think of sweet kind of gourmand fragrances, right, with a date night scent. So this one definitely doesn't disappoint. I'm talking about the Chronic by BYRON Fragrances, Parfum. Really, really good. Again, if you like cinnamon, definitely give this one a try. It's kind of cinnamony and spicy with the pepper, but I find it very ambery too. You get a little bit of the leather, but I think the most I get is like the sandalwood and the dry down with the musk and the amber, and a good amount of cinnamon too. So the note breakdown on this is somewhat simple, but it smells like there's more going on in here. So I don't know if they're holding back on us or what. But it's really, really yummy, very addicting. It kind of, in a way, reminds me of like a niche version of Poison a little bit. You know, this is a lot more complex and more unique than that, you know what I mean? But I think if people like that, this would be worth trying. Just really, really addicting, really good. It's like a little bit gooey and kind of sweet and very creamy with that sandalwood. So, you know, like the way the cinnamon stands out, like an elixir or something like that, right? That comes off a little bit more drier and in your face. This is kind of more smooth and creamy. You know, the cinnamon doesn't really stand out as much, but it's definitely there. But really delicious scent, very addicting, and I think this would be perfect for a date night. For some reason I imagined more of a woman wearing this. I don't know why. Because I don't find it feminine, but for some reason I just picture us girls wearing this more, but men love this scent too. So this is very popular for men as well. So check it out, The Chronic by BYRON Parfums. And this next one is by MAISON Francis KURKDJIAN, and I gotta say, pretty much anything from this house is fantastic. Even scents that I don't really like are amazing. Like, I'm not really a floral person, but his a la rose is even beautiful. Like, it's just the way he blends fragrances, you pretty much know it's gonna be good. Like, I haven't really smelled anything bad from him. He's just amazing. So I decided to go with this beauty, Grand Soir. And another delicious kind of ambery, spicy fragrance, kind of resinous because you get the benzoin in here, but it's got a good amount of sweetness too with the vanilla and tonka bean. But I find it very resinous, ambery. It kind of has, I love the way this wears. So it's like a little bit dry, but it still has like a glassy smoothness to at the same time. It's very interesting. I don't find this like overly gooey or cloying. It's just very well balanced, and I love the way that I think the laudanum kind of balances it here, and the benzoin, and then so it's kind of got that sweet feel, right, with the amber and the vanilla and the tonka bean, but it's more balanced, a little bit drier with the laudanum and the benzoin together. So it's not really, you know, a complex fragrance, but just the way it's blended, it's just beautiful, just really gorgeous. You know, I don't wear a lot of ambery fragrances. I'm getting into them more, but I'm really picky about it. Like, I don't like when they're overly cloying, you know? And I find that fragrances like this really can, you know, convert someone to the amber world. You know, like, I know when I was younger and I tried fragrances that said amber that, you know, they weren't even, you know, they're kind of on the lower end side. It was kind of like, oh, it smells kind of typical and buttery and sweet and cloying, and I always thought all amber smelled the same until I came across this beauty and, you know, some other beautiful amber niche fragrances, and it definitely has changed my views on amber. It's beautiful, and it's actually it can be very unique and versatile. And this one is just beautiful. It's definitely a head turner. When I wear this one, people really compliment me on this one. Like, I'll be out and this one will get me compliments. And even my grandmother, who doesn't like fragrances, she's like very sensitive to fragrances. She even was like, oh, what's that one? That's a good one. I like that one. That's very nice. And so that one definitely, this one is just a head turner. And my mother too, she's very particular about her fragrances, and she loves this fragrance also. She loves this house in particular. Pretty much everything by this house she steals from me because she loves it, and they're just really good. So I think this would be perfect for a date night. Kind of intriguing, not overly sweet and gooey. This one I find a little bit more on the mature, sexy side, and definitely unisex. I think anyone can pull this off beautifully. It's really, really good. So if you haven't tried it, do yourself a favor and give this a try. It's gorgeous. So Grand Soir by MAISON Francis Kurkdjian. And last but not least, we have a brand new addition to the collection, ladies and gentlemen. And oh boy, I'm gonna have trouble saying the house name, but bear with me. So Vanille Havane by Les Indemodables. Oh boy. Indemodables. That's probably terrible. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably saying that wrong, so I apologize. But I really haven't got to give this a full wearing. I gave this a spray. I literally just got this a week ago, so I'm kind of shrining it for when it gets really cold. Because unfortunately, they only do make a 50 ml. I wish they made a bigger one, but this is really yummy. Oh. Got your tobacco, dried fruits, cacao, rum, vanilla, amber, leather, some floral notes. Oh yeah, it's just all the yummy, sexy notes right there all together. Really, really good, man. I can't wait to wear this. So yeah, you definitely get the tobacco and the dried fruits. It's kind of gooey, boozy, chocolatey with that cacao, and oh, this is just gonna be really delicious. You do get some leather and some amber in here, but mostly the tobacco and the dried fruits and the cacao are the standout notes. And you know, this is often compared to tobacco vanille, which I could definitely see. That one's a little bit more on the drier, spicier side, while this is a little bit more on the gooier side, kind of like a little bit more syrupy, but really, really yummy. So I don't want to say, I can't really say anything about the performance yet, but from what I could tell when I did that one spray, it seems like it's going to be really beastly. So I have a feeling I will have to go easy on that trigger and really wait till it gets cold for this guy. But I think in the cold weather, this is going to be a gorgeous date night scent. So this one I'll be doing a full review once I can really, you know, give it a full wearing and get the feel of it. But the first impression was gorgeous, really delicious and yummy. And I don't know, I've been craving kind of yummy, gooey scents. I'm really looking for honey too. So if you got any honey fragrance suggestions, definitely put them in there below. I think that could be another good date night scent, but I don't really own any honey fragrances yet. So definitely let me know what your thoughts are on those. If you'd like to sample any of these fragrances, some of these can, you know, a little bit more on the pricey side. So if you want to check these out, you know, get your own date night collection started. Check out our website, parfume.com. These are all available, and you can get many different decant sizes to fulfill your needs. And don't forget to use my 15% off coupon code KRF15 on your checkout. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Sorry if this was a little bit of a long one. You know I can gab, but I love to just really get in depth with each fragrance with you guys, talk about my feelings on it, you know, and the notes and everything. So definitely let me know your thoughts below. What are your favorite date night scents to wear when you go out with your loved one? Definitely let me know. So thank you so much, guys. I can't wait to see you guys again soon, and I hope you have a wonderful day and smelling good.